Okay, so the other game that was announced today on Pokemon Days, of all things, was a little game called Pokemon Champions. It is a game for both the Nintendo Switch and the phone, which, from what I could see from everyone in the chat at the time, is Pokemon like attempt to kill Pokemon Showdown. Pokemon Showdown, which for people who don't know is like a online website which is just for like competitive Pokemon, where you can just generate any team you want and kind of just battle other people across the world. It seems like a good idea on paper. It's definitely a market that the Pokemon Company should have hit a long time ago, and they've slowly been kind of etching their way to. Like, they've been trying to make it easier for people to get like competitively viable Pokemon, but it's still just never been quite there. It's still always just been that little bit of a hassle. But if I'm right in thinking that... did we open the doors? No. Oh. Does this team even need to heal? Yes, okay. Also, I need to release whoever died. I think it was Y. However, I think Game Freak... I think they're going to fumble the bag with Pokemon Champions. And here's why. So, I was watching through it. And I was like, okay, you know what? It seems like they know what they're doing. Until one line was said in the trailer where, and I even wrote this down, so I had it on hand. They said, and I quote, you won't be limited to using Pokemon you can partner up with in Pokemon Champions. This was in reference to the game being compatible with Pokemon Home, which is it's a piece of downloadable content where you can send Pokemon across different games into essentially one big PC, and then just transfer between different games. I think to most people watching at the time, it just sounded like, oh hey, if you want to battle competitively with Pokemon you have from games, you can transfer them over from, let's say, Scarlet and Violet into Home, and then send them to Champions. But what I think Game Freak are actually doing is something similar to Pokemon Battle Revolutions, where I think the game on its own is going to have like a forced system on you can only pick what Pokemon they want you to use. So for example, one of the teams you would get in Battle Revolutions was a team with just the Sinnoh starters, and they were all set to a specific level, and they all knew a set amount of moves. If they do this, the game isn't gonna like do as well as I think they want it to do. It's not gonna kill Showdowns like everyone's saying that it's going to, because the whole point of Showdowns is that you can customize your team to exactly what you want them to be. That includes their EVs, their IVs, movesets, abilities. I generally think it wouldn't surprise me if the Pokemon Company were just like, nope, you only get to use these teams. You're not allowed to customize them at all. If you want to use your own Pokemon, then you're going to have to get Pokemon. You're going to have to buy Pokemon Home. You're going to have a copy of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and you're just going to have to send the Pokemon through there, which would be a disaster in my mind. And also, so in Showdowns, you can essentially set what type of battle you're looking for, and Pokemon are set into different categories. So really good Pokemons are in like the overused tier or the Uber tier, and so you can only battle people in set tiers, so you can't go into like a barely used category with overused Pokemon. That is something that I don't see Champions doing either, which granted isn't like a must, but it's something that I think if they want to make a game for the competitive players are probably just going to be more drawn to Showdown still. I don't think it's really going to deter them away. However, I think it can at least do some interesting things. I think it'd be good if they just did like a little competition. It's like win 10 battles this week, get a code. Not 10, it'd probably be like, I don't know, they really want people to play it. It'd be like, hey, win 50 games, here's a shiny Charmander with like really good stats that you can just download to like Scarlet and Violet. or the new ZA Legends game to tie it in. But yeah, Champions could be good, but I think Game Freak are gonna fumble it immensely. But we'll have to see. I could be very wrong on the matter. But God, I'm still not even into rock tunnels. I was hoping this whole bit would go on long enough that I'd at least be in the cave.